All right, let's try a little thought experiment. When I say the word champions and the city Madrid in the same sentence, what's the very first thing that pops into your head?
Yeah, I'm going to bet it's the roar of 80,000 fans at the Bernabeu. I mean, we all know Real Madrid, right? It's one of the biggest clubs on the planet. The city is just completely synonymous with athletic greatness, with these global superstars battling it out for legendary titles.
But what if I told you that some of the city's most dominant champions, well, you won't find them on a football pitch. Nope. They're in lecture halls, they're in research labs, and they're competing on a global stage that is, believe me, every bit as fierce.
So today, let's do something a little different. We're going to swap the sports pages for a different kind of league table, one that measures academic firepower instead of goals scored. And you know what? The results might just surprise you. Okay, so to get our bearings, we first need to understand how Spanish universities are even ranked. The U ranking system, which comes from the EVA and BBVA Foundation, is really smart because it doesn't just ask, hey, who's the biggest? It asks a much better question. Are we measuring pure size, or are we measuring actual performance?
This diagram here just lays it out perfectly. Look, over on the right in that volume circle, you've got the giants, the absolute largest universities just by sheer scale. But then look to the left, in the performance circle. These are the efficiency powerhouses, and you see it right there? University Carlos III de Madrid, or UC3M. It is sitting squarely in that top performers group, playing in a totally different league from some of the biggest names.
And that is the absolute crucial point here. Performance isn't about being big, it's about being good. It's a measure of teaching quality, research impact, and innovation efficiency. Volume, on the other hand, that's just about scale. You know, total students, total budget. So UC3M excels by being, to borrow a term from the sports world, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, not by being the heavyweight champion.
So how in the world does a university earn that top performance ranking? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go beyond the league tables. Let's zoom way in on one specific, concrete example, UC3M's Ph.D. program in social sciences, just to see what this kind of excellence actually looks like from the inside.
The program's mission statement is crystal clear. They are not just here to hand out degrees. No, they are in the business of forging elite researchers who can compete in the global academic market. And those words up there, competitive, international, cutting edge, they aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise of a certain standard, a training ground for the absolute best.
And if that sounds intense, well, you're right on the money. The training itself is incredibly demanding, but the journey to even get your foot in the door, that is a monumental climb before the real work even begins.
So let's break this down. What is the highly selective, incredibly rigorous process that forges these future academic leaders?
First up, let's just talk about the raw numbers. Out of countless applications flooding in from all over the world, only 10 people are accepted each year. 10. That number alone tells you pretty much everything you need to know about the standard they're looking for.
Next, language. A C1 level in English isn't just recommended, it's mandatory. And we're not just talking about reading articles. We're talking every seminar, every course, every single presentation. It's all in English. That puts the program on a level playing field with the top institutions anywhere in the world.
Now get this. Think about the level of knowledge you need before you even show up. Applicants can't just be smart. They have to arrive with a toolbox that's already packed. They need to prove they've already completed 18 credits, which is a huge amount of coursework in advanced research techniques, just to be considered for a spot.
So, how do they possibly choose those 10? Well, it's a really careful balance. A massive 40% is based on your academic record, what you've already proven you can do. But they also invest heavily in your future potential, with your unique research proposal making up a full 20% of that decision. They're basically betting on both your past and your vision for the future.
And once you're in, the intensity just skyrockets. I want you to imagine this. You're not just sitting alone in a library writing. No, you're attending nearly 20 high-level seminars a year with leading international scholars. You're constantly presenting your work in progress to faculty, and you are required to go speak at a major international conference. From day one, they are actively pushing you onto the world stage.
After years of that kind of intense training, it all comes down to one thing, the doctoral thesis. And this isn't just some final paper. This is an original piece of research that is meant to make a real, tangible contribution to how we understand the world around us.
And let me tell you, finishing that thesis is a trial by fire.
It has to be approved by your directors. Then it's reviewed by external, international experts. It has to pass a rigorous plagiarism analysis. And then, finally, you defend it in a public presentation. It is a true gauntlet, and it's designed to ensure the absolute highest quality imaginable.
So what's the payoff for all this incredible work? Well, just look at the title of a thesis that was recently defended. This isn't some obscure academic exercise nobody cares about. This is research tackling one of the most fundamental questions in our society, the link between hard work, education, and inequality. This is research that is designed to have a real impact.
So let's bring it all back. We started way up high with the rankings, that big difference between being the biggest and being the best, and then we drilled all the way down into one elite program to see what high performance actually looks like in practice.
And really, this is the key takeaway. The story of this PhD program shows us how a university becomes a top performer. It's not about the size of the campus, it's a direct result of the intense rigor of its programs, the sky-high standards for its students, and the real-world impact of the work they produce.
Which kind of leaves us with this question, right? Whether we're talking about the football pitch or the research lab, maybe being a true champion isn't just about the final score. Maybe it's about the rigor, the performance, and the impact you have along the way. What do you think?